You're watching the Tesla Life live with your host, Mark Coughlin.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tesla Live number 424, and it's the 13th of August, 2025. Thanks so much for joining us. With me, as per usual, I have my other two co-hosts. We have Mr. Casey Green joining us from an undisclosed location in mid-Atlantic area. How are you today, sir?
It was a long day. On the whole, I'm doing all right.
Okay, so you got through it at least. So this is you're winding down from a tough day, but
I can call it that. It was mixed. It was a day. Have a day, sir.
Have a day. Hump day, absolutely. Also with us, as per usual, Mr. Patrick Connor from the West Coast. How are you today, sir?
I'm good. We've been having a hot couple of days. The last few days, we've had not one but two VPP events, so that's good for my electricity bill. It'll be nice and cheap the next couple months.
Yep, absolutely. Get an extra little payment on your utility bill. Excellent. Well, let's talk Tesla and find out what's been going on this week. No shortage of information or stories that have come across the wire this past week. This one's kind of interesting. We've talked about this group before, Revel, based in New York, New Jersey area.
Yeah.
And if you recall, they were a company that went out and bought a bunch of Model Ys, and then they modified the cabin to remove the front passenger seat and made more room in the back seat for people to stretch their legs out.
And they put themselves in some infrastructure.
That's right. That's right. They built DC charging at some of their locations throughout the 5 boroughs in New York, and they going at it pretty aggressively with the rideshare aspect. They had those cars that were uniquely what color? That kind of a medium blue color.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were definitely hard to miss, which is the point. If you have a rideshare program, you want to let people know that you're out there. But a note came by this week that Revel is closing up shop when it comes to rideshare. They're not going to be operating anymore. The company is still going to be active, and what they're pivoting to is charging infrastructure. So they're going to continue to build out charging infrastructure, but it sounds like the rideshare part of their business and the Model Ys that they use to ferry people around is going to be disappearing.
Business-wise, I can see that making sense. So can't fault.
Yeah, this is not the first pivot they've done. They started as a scooter company, right? So they went from scooters to rideshare, and then when Tesla laid off a whole bunch of people from their charging infrastructure group, Revel or however you want to say it, they hired a bunch of them. So if now they have people that can do that, and that's what the world needs is more charging infrastructure, because it is the way that all personal transportation will be electrified and at some point in the future. You can argue about when, but not if.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So it's it looks like at this point they're going to make that pivot again. Got a quick photo I can share of their car just to remind everybody what they look like.
Yeah.
And so that's I gotta believe that pivoting back and forth from different things, though, it's got to be costly, especially if you've invested in a fleet of Model Ys, whether you're leasing or buying. Either way, it's got to be fairly costly to wind down that fleet, and they're probably going to be laying off drivers that they have. But they might have also seen the writing is on the wall, right?
Yeah.
With the with the start of RoboTaxi in Austin and San Francisco, probably seeing that, you know what, when this becomes successful, we're not going to have a market anyways. It's going to be, they're going to be more cost effective than we are, because they're going to have to pay a driver eventually. They're just going to be using the software, and we're going to be having to pay a driver and be more costly when it comes to ride sharing. So we might be in trouble.
Yeah, the rideshare situation is not straightforward right now. Like you said, they've got not just Tesla, they've got Waymo, they've got Zoox, all imminent. And they've got a fleet of free Juniper Model Ys. I don't think they have to necessarily wind them all out, though, because if they keep growing their footprint for charging, they can just do like Tesla does and change them into their service vehicles. Put the front seat back, and then remove the rear seats. and now you've got a service vehicle.
Although they do have quite a fleet of them. Like, I've seen photos of a parking lot full of at least 30 of them sitting at one point charging.
Yeah,
but
30 is not bad, but if they have 300, that would be a little tougher to justify.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if they continue to roll out new charging infrastructure. Which, if you want to grow, you're going to have to do. Like that's just the way that you're going to have to. And of course, if they're native to New York, New Jersey, maybe they can swing deals with parking garages and such that can allow more footprint for charging infrastructure to go in, because of course New York City is lacking it. We've heard from several other groups as well.
Yeah, and they've got experience with NACS. NACS is now the North American standard, as well as Korea and Japan. So they have something that's a little more stable than they had before. Because, like I said, they had the Model Y right as the refresh came around, and then you had drivers, you had all of the stuff that comes with doing a rideshare. Versus now, you're a gas station. So if you do it right, it's a lot more durable as far as your I mean, people will crash into them, but you don't have to worry about as much somebody crashing into it as your mobile assets. And if done right, I think this could do well for them. And if done wrong, this might be the last we see of them before their next change.
Yeah, you never know. Well, they're going to take another swing at it, so we'll definitely keep up on it and report back when we hear some more news. But that's what's happening currently. Another bit of information that came across the wire this week was, of course, that as we mentioned, actually I think Patrick mentioned it during the last earnings call information, was that this coming quarter, there may be a bit of a rush on new vehicles being purchased. And we saw a report coming out that the space from when you order it to when you receive it is starting to stretch out in the US. And that is indicating that there's more volume. We had a previous story last week about how Tesla has increased the amount of time that the line is open in Fremont and in Austin for producing of Model Y. So they've stretched out the an hour and a half extra per day. So another indication that they're selling more. And this most recent one is that there's now a longer period of time that you have to wait. Now, this is basically a PSA to those out there that are waiting or fence sitting. If you're hearing this now and you have interest in getting a car, you better move on it now. You better move on it tonight. Because now that the times are starting to stretch further, that $7,500 federal credit is going to be gone at the end of September. So you've got about 6 weeks before it disappears. And if Tesla's now stretching out the time that those cars arrive, you probably got maybe a week and a half of time before you are going to run out of time. So now is the time to move if you're going to move at all.
And we've got severe weather hitting all parts of the country coming up. So that will affect your deliveries and shipments. especially if it's something that closes down a region or blocks transportation, a major delivery corridor. Not necessarily that they will stop, say, "Oh, the road's gone, we're not going to go around." But by the time they get around, it might be too late.
Right, because if anything gets delayed and you're being pushed up to the end of September for delivery, guess what? The administration is not going to care that you missed your day by a couple days. You're going to lose the credit. So you've got to get in there now if you have any hope of collecting that credit off the initial bill that you receive when you pick up your vehicle. So
right, and the incentive is based on delivery date, not the date you ordered it. It's the date that it's placed into service, which means you get the key card and it is yours and you can drive off with it. And if, like Mark said,
in the state it's done that way.
If it's a day late, then you're $7,500 short.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and
$11.59. Yeah, but the paperwork went until 12:02.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. And then there's also some people might be thinking, oh, well, I heard that there's a cheaper Model Y coming. Well, maybe it's $7,500 cheaper, and then you end up paying the same amount and getting a vehicle with less features, less capability. Why would you do that? So if this is what you're going to do it now.
Yeah. The other thing to look at is Tesla is telegraphing to us what's going on very subtly. They not just the increasing delivery times. What they're giving you with the cars is shortening the time windows they're doing it, and what they're giving you is drying up. Even stuff for inventory cars, so the inventory is running thin as well. So, and that's just with Tesla. I mean, obviously, you might already have your first Tesla, and you might want something else for the second car. This applies to the used cars as well. So if you have a qualifying used car and you qualify, same deadline.
Yeah.
And again, if you're doing power walls or competitors or solar or competitors, especially the solar roof, they do the infrastructure stuff does have a slight flexibility in some places, but it's best to just pencil end of September for everything, and you won't get burned that way.
Yeah, I just went through this with the heat pump that I ordered. I'm getting some feedback. But anyway, the state only had so many allocated for this incentive, and they announced it in late June, and by the end of July, it was gone. So luckily, I got in the window when it was available. But you have to move fast on those things.
And I got in right after they moved the target, so the one I got doesn't qualify for jack. But it is still cheaper to run than the methane furnace. So.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, let's look and see what we got next. Yes, we've got word that Tesla is not expanding the RoboTaxi footprint in Austin yet, but they're saying that next month it will be available to public to use.
I think that's more impressive than another expansion of just drawing the line out further and further. Get my drift.
Longer.
Longer. you get random strangers and all of the stuff that comes with having the public on your service in your vehicles, and a lot more edge cases, and hopefully they've been increasing the density of the vehicles so that the wait times are appropriate. I think this is just as valuable as expanding the footprint.
I would agree. I think it's more valuable because now you're not just getting people that are familiar with Tesla. Now you're going to be, opening it up to the ride sharing and taxi public, and there's going to be a whole variety of new things that Tesla's going to run into when people that aren't familiar with the car start using the app, and if they're enjoying it, using it often. So there's going to be a definite change in what the customers are like, and how they operate, and how they are going to use the service.
Do you think they're going to borrow any of those "Open the Door This Way" stickers from the Boring Company?
They might. Yeah.
Everybody till now has been a Tesla customer, so
right.
Exactly. Yeah.
The door.
I remember it was quite some time ago. I think we even reported on it. I had a friend that had a Model 3, and he was doing Uber driving, and he got so frustrated with people not being able to open the door that he actually bought a an extension handle that sticks right on the existing handle, and it has a handle. So if you grab the handle and you pull it, the door opens just like a normal car.
Oh,
so
cool.
it's put on with 3M double stick tape, and it sticks right to the at that time it was a chrome door handle, and it allowed people to enter the back. He bought 2 of them, one for each the back doors. And
on the outside. Okay.
Yeah, and that outside loop, he felt really was a saver from him rolling down the window and telling them, press the fat side of this, push in on the fat side. And it just got old. So having this, you can get its aftermarket parts. You can just get this thing to work. So it'll be interesting to see if they do something like that.
What's your range? So I was listening to a comic the other day while I was working on some scripting, and he had his first Tesla experience, and I was thinking it was gonna be a Model S, because he said that the car pulled up and the guy sucked in the door handle. I was like, all right then. And so he thought that's what happened, because there were no longer, as far as he was concerned, external door handles, and so he thought it was a racial thing, and he was about to get upset, but thankfully he held his tongue and found out what was really going on. And he's like, push the fat side, and the guy's like, what do you mean push the fat side, pull? Push to pull, what? It doesn't make any sense. And they pushed it, and then the handle popped. He's, oh. Like, I'm glad I didn't say anything.
Yep, there could be some misunderstandings, definitely. So again, and that's some of the things that Tesla going to start experiencing when it's just regular public. But I wonder how they will get the word out to the regular public that they have to get the RoboTaxi app. Is there going to be some sort of advertising campaign? Are they going to have some way of letting people know? Are they going to put a QR code on the side of the car? What thing will they employ to push it out to the public? I'm not sure.
Right, your referral program.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, but that door handle thing is going to be really interesting, because at first, you'll have the safety driver, or safety rider. But from what I understand is they would just sit there and watch you try to get in the car, and so they would need a way that when this thing is actually empty to convey, oh, there is a person here with the app, and they're just kind of sitting there. I'm sure they'll have like an animation in the app. They have to dumb it all the way down for somebody's having a really bad day, or their screen is cracked and it's raining and their hands are full. That's gonna be an issue. It won't be an issue with Model X, but they're not using that as RoboTaxi, because there's power doors all around. Oh well. But they could also do the winter latch thing on the Model 3. Just unlock it and let it fall out, and then see if they can figure that part out.
So they might not be expanding the service area, but if they're opening it to the general public, I think that does mean they've put significantly more vehicles into service, which is on its own another type of expansion.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That if you have a limited amount of client or customers that who you gave the app to, when it rolls out to the public, it could expand exponentially overnight, really, depending on how quickly the public picks up on it and downloads the app.
Could your competition in the previous story with the PSA, with the buying the cars, could your own competition be Tesla?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, if they expand their fleet, they need vehicles. But oh no, this one, do we send it to the RoboTaxi, or do we send it to this customer?
Yeah.
Because they get well, not free, but their FSD internally is gonna be a different price than us, and they get the tax credit. So,
yep.
Interesting.
And they get the tax credit if they buy it from themselves?
I think so.
That's why the lease is
they're buying it. I am sure there's like a separate company type thing that they're putting it into, that this is this is a ride sharing service. It's still called Tesla, but it's called RoboTaxi or whatever. I'm sure that they're still collecting that credit, and I can guarantee you that they are getting the credit, because if there's a question of, we're going to be a day late, they'll make sure it's not a day late.
It doesn't go to waste. Yeah, somebody's getting this credit.
Yeah. Interesting.
I'm wondering then if they qualify directly, or if they have to do it through their leasing arm. Like, hey, these aren't leases or purchases, but you bought them and now they're ours.
Exactly.
Right. The corporate shell game.
Well, let's move on to supercharging. And Tesla, of course, we've always known has been high up in the when it comes to producing and maintaining reliable charge stations. JD Power's 2025 Electric Vehicle Experience Public Charging Study. Boy, that's a mouthful. They aimed to find what was the most reliable and least reliable charging suppliers for EV owners. And while the charging has been certainly Tesla is not new to this game. Last year they were number one in the category, and this year they were number one again. They had a possible high score of up to 1,000 points. That was the very top if you got everything right with everybody. Tesla chimed in with 709 points, which was just a few points less than last year. But they dropped 22 points from the year before. But the study showed that most complaints came from non-Tesla owners who said that processing and payments were not as streamlined as they could be, is what the complaint was.
But when the superchargers?
When it comes to superchargers. But what they did indicate was that they were the most reliable over any other group, and that people found the charging experience pleasant, and they found it easy to perform. So there was there's little issue with getting an actual charge because the maintenance has been upkeep. The upkeep is there, and the vehicles are quick and efficient when it comes to charging as well. So all sorts of plus points on the scale, but again, you're not going to please everybody all the time, and people that aren't used to the app, they're looking at it going, this isn't as streamlined as it could be.
I don't know how much more they expect it to be streamlined when I look at what I've done with all the other networks, except for the ones that allow you to tap your actual credit card or phone directly on there and pay without an account. Other than that, what you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying, how could it be better? Let us know.
I have one suggestion. So we just had a fraud. There were 3 fraud charges that showed up on our Visa. And one was in Texas, one was in Wisconsin, and one was in San Francisco, like all within an hour. So anyway, the good thing is our credit card company caught it, flagged it, and they all got reversed. But then they said, okay, we've canceled your card and we're sending you a new one. It'll be there in 5 to 7 business days. And so now I don't have a credit card, and the one that's registered in the Tesla app is turned off. Yeah. And the weird thing was, though, somehow Google Wallet saw that change of my credit card, and it immediately says your credit card's been updated, and it shows me the last 4 of my new card, but I don't know the new card number. It's my credit card, and I still don't even know the number. But I can use Tap to Pay on my new card, which hasn't physically arrived here yet. But with the Tesla app, I can't say use Google Pay. I have to put in a credit card number. Yeah. So if it supported Google Wallet or Google Pay or whatever it's called, that would have just seamlessly transitioned over. Now, instead, I have to wait for this card to arrive in the mail, then open the app, then say add new payment method, and then type in the new number, which is a pain. I mean, if it worked as seamlessly as Google Wallet did, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
That's what I like about some of my banks. They'll either most of them thankfully will pre-do the if the card's already in a digital wallet, but then some of them will give you like either a temporary code or give you the code in advance, or leave the number but off by a digit, and that one expires once the real one gets there.
Yeah, something like that would have. But so if I had a road trip plan right now, I would have to figure out some other way to pay for supercharging. Because like I said, the card that's in there gets canceled, and I have other. I could do that, but if it just switched automatically and seamlessly, that would have been fine. Would have been so much nicer.
That's always weird to me when a regular bill it finds it out. Same way as the mobile wallet. It's like, hey, we got you.
Yeah. How did they know that? How did they? What black magic is happening behind the scenes here? And why? I mean, I made a list of all the places I have to change my credit card subscriptions and other things. And I would like it if a lot of them just did this automatically.
Yeah. The beauty of the digital wallets is, I always say that if somebody managed to skim that card, all you got to do is 1, report it, and 2, log out and log back in, and you've got a new fake card number.
Exactly.
But I didn't realize how seamlessly it applied to the real card number as well. That's pretty cool. And it's the beauty of it. It's more resistant to replay attacks.
And again, why I'm saying this is something that could be better, I don't think any other charging provider does that. So it's not like I'm saying, oh, Tesla's inadequate in this area. It's just, it would be the nice thing about if you're in a Tesla and you have it all set up, you just plug it, you pull up, plug in, and you're good. It's as easy as it could possibly be.
Yeah.
That would be nice if they could do that, because you could think about when your card renews every 4 years or whatever the date is. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't it be nice to not worry about it, and it just automatically updates with the credit card company sending you that information?
That would be nice.
Thing that some of the banks do is that as long as it's somebody you've done business with before and you have some sort of regular schedule with them, they'll just let them use the expired card until some particular cutoff, and then they're like, yeah, it's time to change this.
Yeah, I have seen that too. Yeah, I was thinking that same thing. It's like, okay, why did my credit card company just disable the card completely when they know what the fraudulent charges were? And if something matches my history of purchases, I mean, they could raise the bar on scrutiny of security and lock it down to just past known good things, and let me keep it for another week until the other card arrives. That would have been nice.
Yeah.
The in the past, I don't know if they still do this. They do allow some individuals who have good standing with their system to hold a small balance for stuff like this, as long as you pay it off rather quickly and stay below a certain dollar amount. Once you hit the dollar amount or the trustability threshold score, or whatever it is, they'll cut you off and be like, hey, to continue, you need to pay us. And then if you don't heed that kindly little remark, they'll start trying to collect their money.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we did. We had, I don't know, it was like $4 that we owed for a couple months when a card had expired. And then they sent me this email, and it's like, oh, okay, I'll go. And then I swapped it, and it was all fine. But yeah, they actually let me charge even though I was going over the limit. So that was nice.
Another piece of information that was in this article about the Supercharger survey was that when it comes to Tesla, they had only, when it came to failed charging visits, Tesla Superchargers were at a 4% of the time that this would happen with their respondents. And this beat out Electrify America, who was at 6%. Company called Red E was at 10%. And EVgo was at 12%. So that's getting up there, 12% time that you believe that you're going to have an issue based on this survey.
So Lee, they do, not on the visualization, but they do now on the later versions of the software tell you, hey, avoid stall 2D and 7A as you arrive because of out of order or other issues. That's pretty nice. But it would be nice if it would show on the screen, like the visualization, like you're saying. And if you're doing FSD, I don't know for other people's cars, some legacy, if it would not pick that stall. Mine kind of likes to line itself up. It's like, here, park there. It'll put the rear, so you can shift in reverse, and then auto park can take over. And it doesn't seem to heed the notices. It just, there's an open stall, and it's interesting.
Yeah, it would be nice if instead visualization is a nice first step, but if FSD just knew which stall to put you in, because it knows the superchargers, which ones are what speed, what your vehicle speeds are, what other people have reservations for, and just put you in the right spot, that would be the best.
Yeah. It'd be really nice for them to implement this into both the visualization, or at least a little better on the screen than just a number. Because like you guys are all saying, that sometimes the numbers fall off. People put ads on them, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not always obvious which one's what number.
Exactly, and then eventually, we've got the virtual queue system coming up in trial in some locations. There's that truck stop station that I showed you guys on a couple weeks ago. With FSD and Smart Summon and everything, I think that they could do better than this company. They don't need that particular plugging robot. They can, I don't know, get an Optimus to do it, or have an employee do it on a busy day or something. But where the cars reshuffle themselves to the queue and then go to a waiting lot when they're done. Also need to be able to not just render it, but also have to accept it into the logic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's again. I'm not surprised that Tesla came in at the top of this list because we have heard horror stories forever about the other charging networks. Even if some of them are fairly reliable and they don't have too many issues, you really don't get those type of horror stories with the Supercharger network. And of course, with Tesla offering the Supercharger network to others and almost every single car company jumping on it, obviously, the rest of the industry believes that it is the gold star standard when it comes to charging as well. Yeah,
as we see now that the standard is there, you get more people jumping on with Revel joining us, so it's only going to get better.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And another story just late breaking. I didn't even have it in our show notes, but when it comes to FSD, Tesla has pushed the limits a little bit further. They videotaped from within the car. They digitally recorded. They didn't
recording.
I'm still living in the past, but they recorded an entire drive from San Francisco Bay Area to Los Angeles area with a single charge stop about 3/4 of the way down. And they provided the video evidence to show that the driver had no engagements on that run. Obviously, he had to do something when he got to the charge spot. But other than that, there were no engagements that he had to go through in order to keep the car transitioning along. Didn't have to make any changes. So Tesla's getting more and more confident with what they have to offer here with the latest update of FSD, and it seems to be jumping the hurdles. It seems to be clearing the hurdles. There's certainly a step change than what we saw pre, version 11, for example.
Yes.
Now that we've gotten into 12, 13, and 14, this is a lot more of a stable environment, and it's making a lot more correct choices than what we had seen in the maybe a year ago. It's something that's definitely has changed in the software stack, and it's proving it on the roads.
Yeah, I just drove home from a friend's house right before the show, and there was only one spot where I intervened, and it was only because I wanted to go right instead of straight because the way the lights were, that would be faster. Because it's the same time either way. It's just okay. I'll go whichever way is green here.
Exactly. Yeah. And sometimes, especially living in the neighborhood and understanding the lights and the timing, there's no way FSD is going to be able to pick that correctly. It's
maybe not today, but I wouldn't never say never. If it has local information in every region, it can drive as well as a local at some point.
It's pretty good around here, even without the. We don't have that I'm aware of. We don't have that technology that Audi uses to count down the lights and to know. But I found that oftentimes when the light should be turning green, I find it like a little horse. It's just like prancing, ready to go.
Yes.
Other times I find it tries to just roll a red light. I'm like, no, we're gonna stop here, buddy.
And actually, Lee has just put in a note. You should put that up on screen. He's experiencing some difficulties with it. So there is a mixed bag out there.
It is mixed, yeah. And then the other time with the yellows and reds to green, I'm finding that it cheats. It just uses the side cameras to see that the other light has turned green, and then it gets ready. So it's got those 3 modes in my legacy, and the other time I have is as the light turns yellow, sometimes it wants to stop, and I'm like, yeah, this is a good light, you can make it. And other times it's like, you might not be able to make it, but I'm going to go anyway because I'm not waiting on this light one more time.
Well, you wouldn't want FSD to do that on its own. If you press the accelerator, that's fine, but yeah.
Exactly.
I'm surprised Lee's is stopping for puddles. That's not good. You don't
So
want
that's not unique. Mine is not stopping for the puddles. It's driving in the middle of the road to avoid getting its shoes wet. So if I've got oncoming traffic, it won't do it. But if I've got something that looks deep enough that it might hydroplane, rather than slow down, it just rides the middle of the lane and gets back, and rides the middle of the lane and gets back.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know it's new, and the first time it did it, it took me by surprise. And then,
So Patrick, you've never had a puddle thing happen to you?
No, the phantom braking stopped after version 11. I had plenty of phantom braking issues before that with version 9, 10, 11, but 12 and 13 have been great. I haven't had that problem at all with these versions. I don't know what's different. I get lots of rain here. It's Oregon, so yeah, there's plenty of puddles.
You're also
maybe they just don't expect them where Lee's at.
Maybe not. You're on V4, right? Well, so's Lee. So.
Yeah, because he has a new 2025, I think.
Yeah, he does 13.2.9.
Oh, how does he have a 26 Model Y? He's in the future, man. Yeah.
You got a 25 Model Y.
Well, okay, yeah. Is it the Juniper?
It is the Juniper. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Some people, since it did come out mid-year, and model years can often come out ahead of time.
Yeah.
I don't. To be precise, I would just call it a Juniper, but whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
got it.
That's played it both ways with this model year stuff. Sometimes they'll wait till the very last minute, and then other times they will do it as soon as they get their certificate from the EPA. And so you'll end up with early model years, and they'll especially do the early model year thing when they've done a hardware change, or if they want to justify a price change, like they did with the CyberTruck. Like these aren't really different, but these ones count for certain things.
These ones are newer.
Yeah, yeah. And if that's the way the government, the Tesla might not wait for model years for changes, but big changes happen, and you might as well register them that way if you have to anyway.
Yeah, because then you can start at 26 early, or you can do it the calendar year. So sometimes you might just want, the 26 was a great year. We had 18 months of 26s. It's like, wait, what?
Right. Yeah.
I remember seeing with car lots, and I'm sure Casey, you've seen this too, is that they would roll out the new year halfway into
May.
Like, so June, all of a sudden there's the next year model is on the lots, and
you got the old one.
Yeah, it would be like, that's early, but I don't know. Christmas was coming early every year anyway, so they're just pushing it up to July. So
it was a mixed bag though, because you have a car that has a lot of miles on it for its year, or if you got the leftovers, you could have a car that had like no miles for its year, and it's still just as old.
Yeah,
exactly. So that was some interesting stuff. Here's a story that came across that was kind of surprising. It looks like the U.S. Air Force is looking to procure a few CyberTrucks, and I thought,
$49 million?
Kind of interesting. Like a few, like how many? Like just like 3, 4. And
so that was for those of you on the audio, that was me referencing way back before when Biden was on his way out. They're like, Tesla's getting millions of dollars in sales for Cybertruck.
But then later in the article, it was saying that the reason for it was, get this, target practice.
Target practice.
They want to use the Cybertruck as a target. And the reason that the Air Force is asking for this is because of the Cybertruck's makeup. First of all, it's got stainless steel body. And secondly, the angular design of it will allow that truck to take a blast more effectively than a regular vehicle, because it's got the ability to deflect the air blast along the angular surface and push the blast out. And we kind of experienced that when we had that that car blast at the Trump Hotel, where a Cybertruck really isn't an ideal vehicle to be a bomb because it is able to deflect the blast and somewhat save the exterior of the vehicle. So this is why the Air Force has interest in procuring a few of them to see how effective, their A-10s can be on it or other munitions, to see how it will operate that way. And of course, they're doing it because they want to have the most effective munitions. And they're saying, do we have to do anything if other people follow this design? Or if the bad guy does own a fleet of Cybertrucks, do we have to know something that's different than what we currently believe to be the case when it comes to exploding emissions to take out the enemy?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, you need to know where the weak spots are, because it's like, oh, let's take out the front radiator. No, that's not an option. How about the gas tank? No, that's not an option. You got to know where to hit it.
So they know it's resistant to small arms fire. They're not under any illusions that it's bomb proof or missile resistance. Although they are securing them for missile practice, probably the A-10 too. Their justification, and they don't need to be brand new, they don't need to be operational, as long as they can roll if towed behind something else, like a RC, I was going to say like an RC dolly, but it doesn't even have to be that. It could be like a junk car that they've converted to RC on their missile grounds. But they want to make sure that they know the properties of what's going on, because they say that these things are going to be popular and are starting to be popular with folks that want to be on our hit lists. And we did see a little bit of that this past winter in the Northern Hemisphere when that bad hombre thanked Elon for his Cybertruck against Ukraine. However, we all know that as controversial as the guy is, he wasn't getting involved in that mess in such a fashion. But that didn't stop the headlines from running amok. But it's also, I don't know if it was the Air Force referenced it or the report that I read. They said, for example, a very public case we saw of people we might want to shoot with a Cybertruck. Look at this guy, and most of the others are a little bit more reserved and a little bit smarter than bragging about what they've got, so that you can be pre-prepared with the right right armament. And then some folks pointed out that we did the same when Ford first switched to aluminum bodies, to make sure that we knew that we had effective countermeasures going on there, because you don't want to go too big, because then now all of a sudden you've caused too much collateral damage, and you don't want to go too small, because then you haven't achieved the mission. So
yeah. No, that makes sense. It was a strange headline when I first saw it, but when you read into it, it does make more sense as you're understanding what they're after.
Yeah, and then there's also, after Musk's comments on wasting money, it was kind of refreshing to see that they weren't trying to get the new ones like they were originally going to do. So just as long as they roll, and they don't even have to be new. So I imagine if you've got one that you feel is a lemon and Tesla didn't buy it back, call the Air Force, say, I got a couple of these. Or
oh, there you go.
you get yourself a new one. And or if you own a junkyard and you have a couple of them somehow, if they roll.
Give them a call. Give them a call. Yeah, call them ahead. Don't just drop it off. Just call them ahead.
There's an Air Force base. I got a tow truck. We're going.
Yeah, exactly.
Give them a proposal and let them accept it. And make sure you get the money first, because we've got some situations going on. So make sure you get the money first, and then give them the money.
Yeah. You don't want to find out they haven't paid you and then say, well, you can come get it, and it looks like Swiss cheese because they shot it up.
It's in several different boxes.
Yeah. Took the M60 to it. And
oh, here's a hazardous materials cleanup fee as well to go with the box.
Right, because technically you owned it at that time now.
Well, good to see that the news is not stopping, but I think we're going to wrap it for this week here. Any shout outs from let's start with Patrick this week.
Okay, so we've got a big event coming up, National Drive Electric Month. If you thought I was going to say week, it's now a month. That's right. And so if you want to attend, you can go to driveelectricmonth.org and find someplace near you that is holding an event. Ours is going to be September 13th, and that's 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So you can check that out on oeva.org and see the go to our events page and find that. And as always, I'm blogging occasionally on carswithcords.net, where I write about my future free from fossil fuels. And right now up there, I have part 2 to 20 laps around the Earth, where I look at how much CO2 does it offset by having that be solar powered, and how much expense would that be if it was grid powered or if it was actually gas powered. And spoiler, solar wins.
Shocking
Yes.
information. But it will be interesting to see the comparison chart, dollars for dollars. That will be interesting. Casey, what do you got for us?
Well, coming up on here, we've got the Tesla Life Express. And as I said, ring the bell because you don't know when or what we'll be coming out with. I mean, we got the 2. This week we had 3. And that's kind of what I was saying the last time I mentioned the bell and the Tesla Life Express. One yesterday. So if you haven't seen it yet, you thought you watched 2 and thought you were done.
Surprise!
That's right. Patrick got a little special event for us, and you can take a look at that and catch me and friends on Casey. Let's chat with Casey and friends on Sundays. This week we had our friend Brian White. So
very good.
Stuff in the studio.
Absolutely. And if you'd like to see what's happening during the week, see updates there, you can follow us on our X feed at the Tesla Life. And of course, while you're sitting here, why not press that thumbs up? Press that subscribe, help us out. The engagement helps, and put a note in the comments. Say hello. Would appreciate it. And we thank those that have been in the chat room and active. Mike, Lee Moon, JT, Highlander's been with us all throughout the broadcast. And we certainly appreciate you guys being with us week after week. It's great to see you. So thanks so much for joining us, and we'll get together next time and find out what's happening in the Tesla Life.
Stay positive, test negative.
Thanks, Lee, for the music.
Yeah, I've got the music.